Our bodies need to maintain a very precise pH balance for all our organ systems to function properly. So here is a pH scale. It's from 0 to 14. 0 to 6.9 would be considered acidic, 7 is neutral, 7.1 to 14 is basic. So what exactly determines if a solution is acidic or basic? That would depend upon the number of free hydrogen ions or H plus ions. So the more acidic a solution is, the greater the number of H plus ions. Similarly, if a solution is more basic, it will have a greater number of hydroxide ions. Let's compare an acidic, basic, and neutral solution. If a solution is acidic, we expect it to have more hydrogen ions. So in this beaker, you can see that there are many more hydrogen ions than hydroxide ions. In the next beaker, we have a neutral solution, so we should expect to see the same number of hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions. The third beaker has a basic solution. So here's the base, and so we would expect to see more hydroxide ions than hydrogen ions. Depending upon the location, the optimal pH of body fluids can be different. For example, in the stomach, the gastric secretions are highly acidic. They have a pH of 1.5 to 3.5. This is useful because the acid helps to break down pathogens and bacteria that we might swallow along with our food. This helps to prevent food poisoning, for example. The pH in the rest of the body fluids tends to be slightly basic. For example, blood has a pH range of 7.35 to 7.45, and intestinal secretions have a pH of up to 7.5. So let's take a look at what makes a solution an acid. An acid is a solution that releases free hydrogen ions into the solution. So a good example of that would be hydrochloric acid, because hydrochloric acid, when it ionizes, produces free hydrogen ions and chloride ions. The greater the number of hydrogen ions, the greater the acidity of the solution. So when the number of hydrogen ions goes up, it actually drives the pH down. And we know that when the pH is low, the solution is more acidic. So this drives the pH down and makes the solution more acidic. So let's take a look at what makes a solution a base. A base is a solution that releases hydroxide ions into the solution. Hydroxide ions are negatively charged. So a good example of a base is sodium hydroxide. When sodium hydroxide ionizes, it produces sodium Na plus and OH minus, which is the hydroxide ion. When hydroxide ion level increases in a solution, it drives the pH up, and this makes the solution more basic. So how do the hydroxide ions increase the pH? The hydroxide ions can easily combine with any free hydrogen ions and make water. As a result, the number of free hydrogen ions goes down and the pH goes up, making the solution more basic.